Anyway, there's been a huge turnout in New Hampshire today, which is good for the country, maybe for one or two of the candidates. Let's check in with David Gregory up in Manchester.
Well, Chris, turnout obviously a big story, especially the independent turnout. We're seeing a big factor on both sides. John McCain hoping to be the beneficiary of that. And that's what he's really counting on the Republican side, and of course Barack Obama on the Democratic side here as well. Going to be very interesting to watch not only the results here, but where the campaigns go from here. We've been talking all day long about a real sense of malaise within the Clinton campaign here. Hearing tonight more of a sense of if the victory is not as large as they thought, that maybe they can spin that as some kind of victory. Already reports of some shakeup within the campaign and a desire from the Clinton team to get a little bit of breathing space from Barack Obama so they can not only retool her message, retool her campaign, but try to go on the attack, quite frankly, and see if some of that can actually resonate with voters and sink in to stop Barack Obama, to slow him down a little bit. What's been striking to me today is that change, still the overriding theme here that is motivating voters. We saw it in Iowa. We're seeing it here in New Hampshire. But that the Hillary Clinton argument will be that's not good enough, that Barack Obama is simply not ready, that he hasn't been tested, that he hasn't been vetted. And they're blaming the media for that. They may want to try to provide some of the vetting themselves by putting out some storylines here. That's what I think we're going to start to see. And this ultimate electability argument as well. I think you'll see more Republicans starting to gear up and make the argument against Barack Obama. And that ties back in to John McCain, who has been making the argument in the past few days that he can make a very convincing argument against Barack Obama from a national security point of view, a campaign built around the threats that the country still faces.
Is there any estimation at this point, David, at what point, at what margin an Obama victory, presuming again one, and we don't have any results, we do not have any projections at this hour, the polls have not closed and won't for another 43 minutes. Is there a point at which all of the interpretation of how good a night it was, relatively speaking, for Hillary Clinton, or how little of the expectations Senator Obama actually reached, is there a magic number of victory at which point it's moot, it's just an Obama clean victory and everybody else was just watching?
Look, I think we have to remember that going into New Hampshire, the Clinton team viewed this as the firewall. This is where they stopped Barack Obama. Well, that's now gone away. You talk to people within the Clinton world today, people in the campaign, close to the campaign, they talk about the fear of a crushing defeat for Hillary Clinton. They talk about former President Clinton getting in the way, not being used effectively, about Hillary Clinton not presenting herself effectively, and about, a strategic mistake in terms of misinterpreting how forceful this idea of change would be as a motivator, particularly for young voters. What we saw in Iowa, what I've seen in the crowds for Barack Obama that I've been out with him here in New Hampshire. So all of those things coming together for some kind of change in direction, they are looking, that is the Clinton campaign, looking for some reason to keep fighting for another day to get to February 5th as a new final stand for her.
David Gregory with the big picture at our NBC News headquarters at the Manchester Armory in New Hampshire. Thank you, David. We'll get back to you again throughout the evening many times. And when we return, obviously more from New Hampshire. New numbers coming out from our exit polling that Nora O'Donnell will analyze.
This is MSNBC's live coverage of the New Hampshire primary. The results coming soon. More back in a moment.